Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to CM42 TV. Just wanted to make this quick little announcement video, update video, and as of yesterday, October 10th, 2018, the Good Bit podcast is now available on Spotify. Yes, you can now stream, listen to, download, queue, add the playlist, subscribe, follow, all that stuff to my podcast, the Good Bit podcast, on Spotify. So I'm over the moon with that. Spotify, the #1 music streaming service in the world, probably top 3 in terms of just streaming in general, up there with what, YouTube and Netflix, I guess. That'd be the top 3, right? Netflix, YouTube, Spotify. Top 3 streaming services in the world. You can now get the Good Bit on YouTube, Spotify. We're just now working on the Netflix one. But yeah, so there you go. Big announcement, big update for my podcast. If you don't know, it is myself, and I'm joined by fellow actors entering the acting world as youngsters, most of us anyway. Talking about movies and theatre and acting in general and that sort of thing. Mainly it's a movie podcast, but my new tagline I've thought of is the Good Bit Podcast, a movie podcast to help you get through the day. So now when you're on Spotify and you're listening to, AC/DC, you're listening to some High School Musical tunes, The Greatest Showman, George Ezra, Ed Sheeran, whoever, Jess Glynn, whoever you listen to, I don't know, and I will not judge. Now, just, you could be on the bus, on the train, walking, anywhere, listening to your music. You get sick of hearing the songs. You get sick of the same sort of repeated melodies and stuff in your ears and your brain. And you quickly switch over, click next, and the Good Bit podcast can come on at no bother. Don't even need to change app. You can cue the Good Bit right after a song. You could be listening to Ride the Lightning, Metallica, followed by episode 48, Movies on Water. So, who knows the possibilities for this. I'm over the moon with this. I hope everybody now can find other ways to listen to the podcast. I personally don't listen to podcasts on Spotify. It's obviously known for the music stuff, but I have other ways to listen to podcasts. However, I know a lot of people who do listen to podcasts on Spotify. It's one of the #1 questions that I have. #1 question I have in terms of the podcast is, can I come on? Second question is it on Spotify? So now the answer is yes to both of them, I guess. So, the ways you can listen to the Good Bit now: iTunes, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podomatic, Podbean, any sort of podcast app for Samsung or Android devices, and now Spotify. So, over the moon, just search the Good Bit Podcast on Spotify, the same way you'd search for a band or an artist or something, or even search my name, Chris Moffat. It should come up there, the nice new red logo, and you can follow there, you can queue them, you can add the playlists, create your own thing, whatever you want to do. The Good Bit Podcast, now available on Spotify. So yeah, thanks for checking this out. Hope you can go and find the Good Bit on Spotify now, another outlet for for folk to listen to the podcast and stuff. And in terms of YouTube, I suppose I should touch on this. I am uploading all the old episodes to YouTube in HD, and eventually by the end of the year, what I want to get done is maybe even to 2019. On the day that a new episode is being released, it gets dropped on all platforms at the same time, which would be iTunes, Podomatic, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. So that's a goal I'm going to. So that's why some of the older ones are getting uploaded to YouTube all the time, and the brand new ones aren't. So I'm just working my way up chronologically. It will happen soon, but the main point of this, already gone on longer than I wanted to. Funny that. The Good Bit is now on Spotify, so get listening, get streaming, and get sharing if you can. That'd be lovely. So yeah, check out on Spotify. Check me back here on CM42 TV very soon. Until next time, folks, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, everybody!